Welcome back, everyone. It is a beautiful afternoon in the woods, and yesterday when I was out hiking I found a patch of the most glorious jelly mushrooms that I've seen in a long time. It's the apricot jelly mushroom. So I'm going to take you to where they are. They're a common mushroom used for, garnishing salads or candying. So let's go find them before the sun sets. And outfit of the day, I've got my blaze orange jacket on, and also I have with me, it's a little nippy out here, I've got my Watson gloves. This is the dry hide gloves, so this is like leather palms, and these are really durable. I mean, I wear these all the time and the dog's grabbing at them and stuff like that, and they're warm too for light duty. And the tops are actually made of recycled pop bottles, so these are great to have around when you're just hiking in the woods. It's a little nippy, and I got those at Princess Auto, so they're great stuff. So right now I'm in some deciduous forest with the odd conifer in there. For the apricot jelly mushrooms, we're actually looking for coniferous forest. And as you can see, all the snow from last week's video has melted. We're getting an El Nino winter, so we're expecting above average temperatures and maybe a little bit drier. Everything's gone to seed now. These look like little cotton balls. Lots of mushrooms out in the woods today, but many aren't edible. All right, the sun's starting to set, but we are now in cedar forest, so near some conifers, so let's keep our eye to the ground. And here we are. Look at those beauties. Wow, they're all throughout here. All throughout here. You can see underneath this cedar. And they're frozen. So let's take a closer look. Oh, wow, they are frozen solid. Here, let's take one out of the ground there. So let's take a look at that. All cedar swamp in here. Let me just sit in here and chat with you about these mushrooms. It's hard to sit in here without a weird shadow on my face with all these cedars. But here we are. Here's the apricot jelly fungus. Just gorgeous. Kind of like a salmon color to like a pale orange, kind of contrasting with my very bright orange jacket. So its scientific name is Guapinia helveloides. I can barely say that name. And it has a very soft, very delicate floral smell. I'll just say that. How they're thawing out. They are that nice pale orange salmon color. And believe it or not, even though it looked like they were growing out of the ground, they're actually growing out of decaying wood. So you might see a little bit of like a wood chip kind of at the bottom there from a chunk of, one of these trees or whatnot. And they're really unique in that you can barely see the stem to them. So if we kind of take one out of there with a little cluster, you can see it's just like an off-center stem. They kind of look like ears, like a little pig ear or something like that. And they grow in clusters or singletons. And their spore print is actually white. So if you want to verify what you have, which you always should do, you should do a spore print. And it will be white, believe it or not, for these mushrooms. They kind of have a slimy texture to them. So as they're thawing out, they're pretty slippery in my hand. And they're quite translucent. You guys can appreciate that. You can kind of see through them almost. This is a good specimen where you can see a singleton and there is a white stem. And again, it's off center, as you can see here. And they do grow anywhere between 2 and 4 centimeters. These ones are a bit older, so they're a little bit more rubbery in texture, and so they're a little bit larger. The most ideal specimens for candying mushrooms are the smaller, younger ones. As they get older, they get kind of tougher and a little bit rubbery, as one can appreciate. But like most mushrooms, they're mostly water. So how I would candy them would be you'd harvest them. You can kind of, I think, cook them in like a sugary syrup. You basically, usually put them into a hydrator. Take out all the water. And then once they're dry, put them in a jar with some sugar and citric acid and shake them around. So once you do that, you just sort of let it sit, shake it around for a bit. The jelly fungus actually starts swelling and filling up with more liquid and the sugar and the citric acid, and then you just add more and more and more. And then eventually what you get after a few weeks is a candied mushroom. So it's basically like a sour gummy kind of thing. So that's really neat. And there's other ways to do it as well. Like some people don't take that much time doing it. They do them a different way, but I want to try the way with the sugar in the jar method. I think that'd be pretty cool. And it takes a few weeks, but it's worthwhile. They are one of the few mushrooms that are edible raw. Obviously wash them. You don't want a whole bunch of junk all over them, but they are safe to eat raw with, cleaning and things like that. Most mushrooms, you can't do that. But witch's butter and, the apricot jelly fungus are fine. But of course, some people have sensitivities and there's always risk for bacterial contamination and things like that. So be aware. And another way people enjoy them is pickled, which makes a whole lot of sense. You know, if we didn't have mushrooms, we would be literally sitting on piles and piles of dead wood. They're so important to our ecosystems and breaking down, you know, organic matter, you know, especially all the tree trunks and stuff like that. It's just, they're such a wonderful thing. And I've really gotten into mushroom harvesting over the last 10 plus years. I really, really enjoy it. I think I've added up now. I've had at least identified 20 wild mushrooms that are edibles and eaten them. So I think that's pretty cool. Many don't realize that the grocery store mushrooms, like the button mushrooms, as well as the portobello mushrooms, are the exact same mushroom, just harvested at different times in their growth cycle. So when you go mushroom foraging, you get so many different flavors and textures, and you can do so many different things with them. Like these jelly mushrooms, for example, they're suitable for the candying process, or, you know, as a garnish. They're really, really unique, and they're mild, and they sort of take on the taste of whatever you kind of cook them in. You can even pan fry them too. So lots of different flavors to explore in the woods, but always be careful, identify properly, do your spore prints, and when in doubt, throw it out. And today I'm just going to be harvesting the little ones, like the younger ones with the white stem. If they've kind of gone off, I don't feel comfortable harvesting them. And again, if you're harvesting wild mushrooms, make sure to only take what you need, no more. So pretty around here with the yarrow and the wild strawberry and the mosses. Just gorgeous, even these little rocks too. Thanks so much for tuning in today to learn about the apricot jelly fungus. You can find it in the winter even in some places, so take a look if you're in eastern North America to see if you can find it. Again, coniferous forests are where you're going to find it most likely. And it looks like to be a bumper year. All right, have a great week, and we'll see you the next video. Bye for now.